tonight. I'm thinking. Maybe. Oh, there we go. We got the live sound. We're on the air for the 1 billionth edition of Hit the Ropes Radio. Actually, it's only episode 354, but it feels like a cool 1 billion. Shane, how you doing?
I'm great, man. I'm here filling in because I felt the effects of Irma after the fact. I lost power last week, so I couldn't do the show. I'm ready.
All right, yeah. My internet has been spotty since getting the internet once again after Irma. So I'm praying to do this unhinged here. As we're streaming on both YouTube and on Facebook. So whether you're on at Hit the Ropes on Facebook or on YouTube, thank you for joining us. And we'll see how this goes. This is, I think, our second real attempt at live streaming on both platforms at the very same time. So trying to adjust my camera so I can, so folks can see me quite well. But big show tonight. Tonight, I kind of want to focus on the long lost art of management in professional wrestling. For a sad reason, Bobby the Brain Heenan sadly passed away this week after a long battle with throat cancer. He died at the age of 72. He's been fighting this for years. I think around 2002 is when it kind of got announced, and it went into remission around 2004. But man, Bobby the Brain Heenan, I grew up on WCW, so most of my memories are with him in the commentating booth. But Shane, man, he's done so much more, including wrestling and managing, and had his own late night talk show for the WWE. Big impact Bobby the Brain Heenan had on professional wrestling.
Yeah, I'm right there with you in the fact that when I grew up, he was more in the commentating booth. But I mean, Bobby the Brain is just freaking awesome. I was able to go back and see some of his stuff, but even if you didn't go back and watch all of his older, body of work, you were able to grasp how good he was verbally just from listening to him, at the announce table or, in any taped segments. He was just that good. Arguably the greatest of all time when it comes to managing. And people, we were talking about talkers the other day, and we were throwing out all these names of these wrestlers, and I guess because we were focusing so much on wrestlers, we weren't really honing in on Bobby the Brain, even though he did wrestle. Later on, he was known more for his managing, and I think we probably didn't, all share his name when we were talking about these talkers, because we were focusing more on like the straight wrestlers and not the wrestlers who might also be managers and valets, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, and he had a stable, the Heenan family, as it was called, of wrestlers that he led their careers, was the mouthpiece for. And that's a lost art. You probably got maybe a handful of managers. At what time, it seemed like if you go back and watch like old WrestleManias, like he was managing, at least one person in every match for a good bit. That's how reliable Bobby Heenan was, and how important he was to trying to get people over who could not get themselves over. Another thing that I remember most notably for him, outside of specifically the booth, is his hatred for Hulk Hogan and his love for Ric Flair. There's nobody who carried that through a career, a gimmick, a storyline through a career like Bobby Heenan. He hated Hulk Hogan in WWE, and once he got over to WCW, nothing changed. He was the same throughout. He always had the same storyline to him. So the continuity was pretty amazing. Now, Shane, I mentioned we don't get many mentions of managers nowadays. There's Paul Heyman.
That's really it.
There's Paul Heyman. Like, what happened? Like I mentioned, Bobby Heenan was so vital for so many. Hey, I know you had to have seen the GIF of him walking behind Mr. Perfect down the aisle, and Mr. Perfect threw his towel, as he normally does, behind his back, and Bobby Heenan, who was managing him, following up with no look, catches it from behind his back. Did you see that GIF? I mean, that's like the perfect, without any words, summing up Bobby Heenan. Just flawless is what it was. It was hilarious, too. Very hilarious, because Mr. Perfect was trying to get rid of the towel, as he normally does, and Bobby was like, oh, let me get that real quick. So
we might need that later.
Yeah, hilarious. But we often do the we've done this with wrestlers. Are you able to build a Mount Rushmore of managers?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely believe that is possible. I mean, you're going to have to tap into wrestling past, because as you're stating, when you're looking at the WWE, you're not seeing managers today. Now we have, like you said, Paul Heyman, and he's been pretty much the only manager on the top brands for the past few years, whether it was Brock, Curtis Axel, Ryback, CM Punk. It was still just Paul Heyman. And then you go down to NXT and you have Paul Ellering with the Authors of Pain. And apparently the WWE only likes their managers to be named Paul. So as for the Mount Rushmore,
before you do, let me. We're on Facebook Live for the first time. We've got Johnny Mason and Stokes in there, and they're throwing out names like Mr. Fuji, Freddie Blassie, Captain Lou Albano, Bobby Heenan, Paul Heyman, Ellering. So just to get the hamster wheel going, but continue.
And yeah, those there's some names there that I did plan on using. Now, I feel horrible for asking this. I feel horrible, especially for the profession that I'm in. But I'm just gonna state that I'm a science teacher and a math teacher by certification. I haven't taught history in a few years, so I'm a little fuzzy. But how many heads are there on Mount Rushmore again? Is it?
I believe there's 4.
4. Okay. I know. I felt it was 4, but I didn't want to assume, because you know what happens when you assume. Okay. So, do I just rattle off my 4 right now?
Yeah. Hot Dog says Heenan's so good he takes up 2 spots. But yes.
I would agree with him.
Let's go ahead and get you.
All right. So Heenan, of course, Heenan's up there, no doubt whatsoever. And then I'm using my personal views here. People are gonna have their own opinions on who they feel should be up there, but this is more so based on who I saw growing up, who I related to, who I enjoyed watching, and all of that. So there's Heenan, for an outstanding body of work before my time and during. And then there's Paul Bearer. Look, another Paul. Because the Undertaker being just the phenom, of course, and this long-standing figure in the WWE. Kane, Paul Bearer was just the perfect man in that whole gimmick and persona there. After Brain and Bearer, I'm going to say Heyman, more so because of the current era. Especially when you look at somebody like Brock. Brock is a specimen, a beast of a man, but we know Brock is not the best talker. He needed somebody, right. and Heyman is the perfect guy for that. And what I love about Heyman is that when he's out there for Brock, and he's talking about Brock's next challenger, Heyman talks up the challenger. We see this with Strowman. Heyman lets everybody know Strowman's a beast. He is a deadly individual. So it makes it even better when Brock wins. He's not out there just putting these people down. So Bearer, Heenan, Heyman, Heenan, and Bearer. And my fourth, this, I was like, okay, because there's like Mr. Fuji, and there's Lou Albano, there's Jim Cornette, there's Jimmy Hart,
yep,
there's Sherry Martel, there's
Mr. Fuji.
Yeah, there's some names out there that you could go to, but I'm gonna go with Fuji. I just enjoyed seeing Fuji, and I kind of wanted to see about trying to put a woman up there, just for some kind of representation, but
right.
I'm gonna go with Fuji. So there's my four. The fourth one was the toughest one because there's so many who could fill that spot.
Yes, very hard. And I'm trying to keep up with the comments on Facebook. I haven't figured out how to scroll, so I don't know if we can scroll or if I have to click onto the video to do so. But so I'm missing a lot of the guys. Their picks there, but we're getting a lot of the similar names there. Jimmy Hart is up there. I would say Heenan is up there for me. Paul Heyman, for the reasons you mentioned there. Stokes, he throws out Miss Elizabeth, but she's so passive, and I don't know, like she had a great storyline she was involved in.
Was she more like a valet?
Okay, so what's the difference then? What's the difference? So, like, the valets just take your clothes, your robe, and your crown and scepter for the Macho Man. Like, what's
that?
You're throwing that out as a category.
I would say I would go that route. That the valets are there. When it came to the women, they were more of like an eyepiece. Because it's usually a good-looking woman standing there, with this man, and she was just there to to be that good-looking woman on his arm, like an escort, you know.
Oh wow! You just called us Miss Elizabeth an escort.
I never said Miss Elizabeth was an escort. You did that.
The dots.
Twist my word.
+1 =2.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna tweet from my other account, a la Kevin Durant. I did not call Miss Elizabeth an escort. But I feel that there is a difference because they weren't speaking for them or anything like that. They weren't really much of a mouthpiece. They were just arm pieces.
Wow. Okay. And I don't disagree with you. Like when we had Woman and Molly Holly as what's Molly Holly's? I forget her WCW name.
Molly Holly was in WCW? Wow.
What? You didn't know that?
No.
She was with Macho Man in WCW. And they were very much an escort because they escorted him to the ring and that's about it. They did not jump on the mic and defend his honor. Obviously, a lot of people in our previous chats put Macho Man on their best talkers Mount Rushmore. So he didn't need Miss Elizabeth. He didn't need Molly Holly to speak for him. So I guess there is definitely a difference between a valet and just a manager. Stokes is campaigning hard for Sherry, and I agree. She would be on my Mount Rushmore. We mentioned Macho Man. She was with Shawn Michaels. Harlem Heat really got their start. So she would be. I would put Heyman, Martel. Not on my Mount Rushmore, but there's Colonel Robert Parker. He always annoyed the nothing out of me. He was doing his job quite well. But not quite the reputation.
Is your fourth going to be Truth Martini?
Truth Martini. Truth Martini. Wow, you going with the old school name. Not old school WWF, but old school and hit the ropes. Lord here.
Wait. Your cocktail strip is going to be Prince Nana.
Oh, another one, Prince Nana. Hey, man. Someone missed the boat with this guy. This guy is the Prince Nana. Y'all got to look up Prince Nana. He is the ultimate hustler, not only in the ring, but outside the ring too. And I won't tell all the stories, but I will tell the time I went to Ring of Honor, and he is a long staple. I believe he's still with Ring of Honor. I don't know.
Yeah, he still promotes them.
He still promotes them, and he still takes pictures with Gary Silk. So that's two things that are a given with Prince Nana. But outside the show, it was after a show, and we had interviewed him. I walked up, and he was outside in the parking lot, hawking pictures of himself, trying to make that last buck. You know how you usually have a souvenir table during the intermission. No, Prince Nana, the show was over. People were leaving and going home. My man was in the parking lot, and we almost had to throw down because he was eyeballing my lady, and I didn't really feel that. And then he's like, oh, it's you. I'm like, all right now, slow down, Mr. Nana. Prince. But the ultimate hustler, the ultimate manager. I think if he would have gotten his run in WWE, he would have done well. He would have done quite well for his embassy, if you will. But Prince Nana, yes, and Stokes wants to know, is Prince Nana the guy picked up Mania Weekend back in 2011? Yes, it absolutely was. Yeah. Stokes has a story that he could tell on Prince Nana as he picked up Nana and Homicide. Yeah. Yes, we had our way back. We hosted a a Q&A, if you will, with Prince Nana, Mr. Hughes from WCW, and one of Mr. Hughes' students who turned out to be John Gresham, who is all over the world, New Japan. I think he's got some ROH action now. But Stokes had to go pick up Prince Nana from the ROH show, show. That was probably like 20 or 30 minutes, and he just commented, "Oh, that was a crazy ride." And he said, "Homicide is crazy, bro." And I remember after one of the shows when we were out there, we saw Homicide in the street. Him and I think it was one of the Wolves and a couple other guys, and they asked us to come with them. They were going to go, continue to party, but for whatever reason, we turned them down and went about our way. I think we were looking for food. We must have been pretty hungry, but
yeah, to turn that down. Because Stokes was driving, we were probably looking for Chick-fil-A again.
Probably. We were on foot on this one. We were trying to find stuff in our hotel, but that's another crazy story, which has been told. And there is a video. If you check the archives, that was at night. But yeah, so a lot of crazy things. Prince Nana would have been a great addition to the WWE roster, and maybe he could have built his way up to making our Hall of Fame list there. I'm trying to think of a fourth person to. I guess I would add Paul Bearer for his work with Mankind, Kane, and of course The Undertaker. Unfortunately, before his passing, they killed him off in a weird angle. But and I think did they bring him back from the concrete thing, or was that the end?
I'm like, he was dead before they brought him back. Yeah,
I remember him. I mean, I know he's not the Undertaker, but they brought him back from the dead an awful lot. It seems like. I think it was electrocuted by Edge and Vicky at one point. Like, I don't know. Like, dude has a weird history. But managers, you gonna say something?
I was waiting for your fourth, because if you didn't have one, I was gonna just keep feeding you other alternatives. Like there was also Abraham Washington.
Is that like somebody's real name? That sounds like a government name. Whose government name is that?
Abe Washington, oh my God, WWE, the black dude that said the Kobe Bryant joke.
Didn't he even come? Wait.
Abe Washington.
Is that the commentator? Who's commentating now? The only black guy commentating.
That's Percy Watson?
Percy Watson. Okay, two different black guys?
No.
They all look the same. Dang.
How do you not know? How do you not remember Abe Washington? He was with Titus O'Neil, and
I remember the incident, but I just don't. I'm gonna have to Google who he is. Oh I know he was in NXT. I remember the incident. I remember saying, "Wow, worse things have been said." And a joke, I think, joke like that had been made either the year prior or not too long before.
Wow.
So yeah. But okay.
Out of sight, out of mind.
You're bringing up random names. You're bringing up real random.
That's why I'm here.
What about I thought you like Paul's, right? Paul Mitchell, isn't that his name?
Paul Mitchell, yeah. The TNA
from Abyss and Mordecai. Didn't he manage Glacier's enemy? Mordecai. Not Mordecai. Mortis.
If I was an Abyss fan, then maybe I couldn't stand Abyss. I still can't stand Abyss. I like his lawyer persona a lot better, Joseph Park, than I do Abyss. What about Kevin Sullivan? No Kevin Sullivan.
I think Johnny brought him up in the chat, but outside, what is it? The Dungeon of Doom? Am I getting that right? There's so many Dooms. There's the Legion of Doom. There's Doom.
There's Dungeon.
Dungeon of Doom with WCW. Outside of that, did he manage anyone?
No. Did anybody bring up JJ Dillon?
Yes, a lot. JJ Dillon is, of course, famous manager of the Four Horsemen. Johnny Mason just brought him up in the Facebook chat. Let's see here. And I'm all late for replying. He keeps bouncing from Facebook and Twitter, I think. I mean, Facebook and YouTube. And he said Elizabeth only had managed one guy in her career. I think she was with Lex too, wasn't she, in real life? But she was a ballet. I think we kind of classified her as a ballet now. But yeah, so there's only a couple of guys. Now let me ask you this, Shane. We're getting some major feedback all of a sudden. Okay, Shane's popping in and out. He's got like 2 accounts going. So I don't know what's going on, but yeah. So I want to take a look real quick. We've been talking about managers a lot here, and the roster, I think, definitely could use managers. We got Titus O'Neil, who's kind of transitioning. I don't know if he calls himself an agent or what have you nowadays, but he looks to be obviously trying to make that transition to a managerial position, Shane. Talking about Titus O'Neil, who on the cusp of retirement or maybe just retired. Could you pick out somebody that you think would make a good manager? I got a name in mind that I don't think you'll pinpoint. But do you see anybody that would make a good manager? Maybe throwing randoms out here. Maybe Mick Foley, helping out. What's Sanity? Maybe something crazy like that. Do you have any names of any guys that you think who are twilight of their career? We normally see these guys transition to the booth, but would make a better manager.
I mean, it's gonna be a few years from now, but Xavier Woods could definitely be.
Okay. Yep. He's almost there now.
Right. If he changed his name to Paul, he would definitely be a manager right now.
Maybe again.
But okay, so let's see. Towards
Here's one.
Twilight of their career.
I want to bounce one off of you. What about Goldust?
Yeah,
he's. I think he's better on the mic than people give him credit for.
Wasn't he going to do something like he started scouting people around WrestleMania or something like that, and nothing came of it? Like it looked like he was trying to put together some kind of stable or something. Months ago he was like starting to look at talent, and nothing happened. Yeah, I'm pretty sure somebody in the chat room, Facebook or YouTube might bring that up. But yeah, definitely Goldust.
Goldust would be a very interesting one. Johnny's throwing out Booker T.
Only if it says
that would be a good one. What?
I want Black Snow or what was his GI Bro?
GI Bro? Oh God, no. Hey, what happened to him? Like, he was doing his King. He told us on our show that he was doing the King Booker gimmick to get into Hollywood. That was his practice for Hollywood. On Bruce Pritchard's show, Bruce said that there was a couple names that they were hoping to do something with WWE Studios, and Booker T's name was one of them. And he never did. They still haven't done anything with it. and people are kind of hate him on the commentary booth, but he's still charismatic enough where Booker T would be a good name. Like put Booker T with I've already forgot the NXT stable. Maybe you or the chat room can help us out. What's the new Red Cup NXT stable?
Street Profits.
Yeah, I could see him running with the Street Profits, and kind of give them some more clout. Stokes says R-Truth is going to manage Little Jimmy. Let's not bring back Little Jimmy. Please don't. He also said Lana should start a ladies stable. And
I could see the Miz when I could see the Miz. He's trying to start that stable right now. He's doing that stable with the Miz Taraj right now. I could definitely see the Miz in a few years being a manager of sorts.
He would be a great manager. I think man, I could see him having his own elite stable, like something that could, he could transition, but I fear he's going to be moving into the movies. Stokes is giving me heat, I guess because of the Booker T comment, and said why should he? What are the Street Profits? Why should he manage the Street Profits? Because they're black. And I said yes, exactly. Booker T is black, and therefore he should team up. We're gonna put a white guy with him? Come on, Stokes. Stokes says Eric Young. Eric Young is kind of there, even though he is an NXT champion right now.
Good talker. He's a good talker. He shows he's from TNA, and we do know one thing TNA loves to do is make factions. And yes. Eric Young was in a lot of factions, so that works.
Okay, and Stokes says put Enzo. He said puts Enzo with them. I think he's talking with the Street Profits. That would work too, because I think Enzo would make a far better manager than his career would go as a singles wrestler, because that fat's gonna fade real fast. If you put him with the Street Profits, I'm okay with that.
Definitely. Stokes, good job. I'm liking all of Stokes' suggestions right now. One quick thing, since we mentioned Enzo, I love the fact that every Monday night Enzo is getting verbally abused and physically abused. Last week, The Miz put him in his place. This week, he got beaten the crap up by Braun Strowman. I love it. I love it because Enzo, his character soured on me when he started messing with Lana, and I'm like, and I said it before on this show, why am I cheering for this guy who's blatantly wrecking people's homes? I am loving all of the Enzo abuse. Back to the regular show.
Hey, and that's okay. But that scares me too, because it makes me seem like they're beating him up so bad they're gonna throw the strap on him, and that would make me cry. And for some reason, when we talk about managers, Christian comes to mind. I think Christian might make a decent manager.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll go back and forth with that one. I know we can talk, but I can't picture. I can't find a person to put with him.
I always just love it how, well, not really love it, but it fascinates me how Christian just disappeared. Like, he just slowly, just from television, and that was it. Like, no pomp and circumstance, nothing, no parade, no goodbye celebrations, nothing.
Yeah. He's kind of faded away. I think Big Show will be like that as well. I think he's going to just fade away too. And Stokes goes to Matt Hardy. He says Matt Hardy would be a good manager. While Tyler says he says Enzo's just annoying now, which he has worn on me as well so quickly. But yeah, not a lot of,
well, like, you know, there's a ton of names. I was trying to think outside of WWE. But,
did you find it?
Well, over in TNA, GFW, Impact Wrestling, Anthem, the Owl People, whatever their name is at this particular time and place,
Change every 10 seconds.
pretty much. They've got some good talkers out there, and their current champion, I think, would be a great talker down the line. Eli Drake. He's a great talker now, but he'd be a great manager later on. So Eli Drake. What you call it? The freaking announcer over there, Josh Matthews. You know it.
Okay.
I think he would be a good manager too.
What about Pope? He's looking for things to do.
What, when he's not chefing it up, thinking that he's on you know, the Cooking Network or something? Ysure, the Pope is a talker. He does well behind the microphone. I can definitely see that. But he's no longer he's no longer with them. So yeah, Pope is free. Somebody hire him as a manager. There you go.
There you go. Stamp of approval. Yeah. So yeah, it's fun to talk the Mount Rushmores. We've done it with a couple different categories. This time it's the first, which was brought up with the unfortunate passing of Bobby the Brain Heenan. One of the greatest to ever do it. Speaking of greatest and in trouble, did you get a second to check out the clip of the 11 or so minute interview with People TV done with Ric Flair, who has been battling his own troubles as of late? Did you get to check that out, which is on the VC.com, people? Did you check that out yet?
No, I'm sorry. I checked. I did check the VC today because I check the VC.com every day, and you all should check the VC.com every day. But when I checked the VC.com today, the only thing up there at the time that was new was the latest one that I saw was the Kevin Durant piece. I know the Ric Flair one was in the process. I saw that it was still as a draft. So I did not go in and read the Ric Flair piece yet. But I wanted to be like everybody else here. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I wanted to hear it from the folks first.
Well, we'll break it down for you because you're probably not the only one. It just released today. And what I'm talking about is they finally kind of gave an explanation of why Ric Flair was in the hospital this past month. It was kind of Ric Flair's people were lashing out at folks for guessing, but they never really told the story of why he was in the hospital. Backstory is Ric Flair's the player, y'all. He this exclusive interview with People TV since his career launched in 72, I think it was, something like that. After every night, he would go out and drink. We all know this about Ric Flair. He is a party animal. Apparently, it just caught up to him. And, you know, you never really, outside of him being divorced 4 times, you didn't see the physical told that all that drinking and partying had done. But apparently, something around 4 years ago, Ric Flair was actually, Wendy, his now fiance, got him to go to rehab. He was in rehab, didn't want to be in rehab, but went because, Wendy basically, I don't know if she gave him an ultimatum, but she, forced it upon him to go, and he went. But he came out and was still drinking. So apparently what had happened was he complained to Wendy via phone of stomach issues. And she rushed him to the hospital, and apparently all his organs had been shutting down. In the past, he complained of being dizzy, which he had been suffering from vertigo for years, I think due to the plane crash that he had. And so he attributed it to that, but apparently it was his heart shutting down. And so they rushed him to the hospital, and while he was in there, they called Charlotte and basically told her, come say goodbye to your dad. They needed to operate on him. Apparently he had a 20% chance to survive just the operation. And they put him in a medical-induced coma, and he was out. And that news went from bad to worse, but eventually, as the shirt says, you cannot kill Ric Flair. Somehow he's yes, expletive, which is the greatest shirt of all time, I think. And so he lived, as we know, and he survived. And Wendy credits her oldest daughter, who I think is attending UGA, maybe on a, I think she might be in cross country, but that's neither here nor there. So the oldest daughter, she said she would cry on the phone with Stone Cold as he was taping, I think, one of his reality shows. And Hulk Hogan actually came there and prayed for Rick, gave him a Bible with, inscription of he's the greatest wrestler ever. So now he's out. And I think they said he did or almost lost his vow. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not sure how that all works out. But we can noticeably see the weight loss. They talked about, this was filmed on September 11th, I believe, via a post on Twitter that showed him getting filmed. And at the time, he couldn't walk on his own. He was using a walker and was getting around in a wheelchair. So the weight loss is notable. He tries to get on the bike when he can to kind of regain some of that muscle, but shame, we almost lost Ric Flair. And we talk about losing Bobby the Brain Heenan. Almost lost the greatest of all time, but can't kill this man. A plane crash couldn't kill him. Shane, a plane crash. Do you think alcohol's gonna kill him? A plane crash couldn't kill him. This man
He might not be human. He might be an android or something,
He very well may be, but we finally get some answers to what's going on. That was another crazy story in the life of Ric Flair. He's got a book out with his daughter Charlotte right now. Obviously, that's not going to make the book, but that's his second book, I believe. So the third book would be amazing yet again. So, man, the things that family has gone through, ridiculous, straight up ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean,
any thoughts on that before we take this?
Now his daughter's on her way to being another time women champion.
Has she broken her father's record yet? It's got to be pretty close. But she's got to be pretty close to that 16-time world champion. I think she will break it before John Cena does, and John Cena's on 16. So, she's well on her way.
She's neck and neck with X.
Yeah. Let's get out of this funk, this death and all that stuff. Let's talk about something happy. Tell me about how you went about signing up for Jericho's new cruise. Tell me all about that.
How I signed up?
Yeah. I know it was just announced, and Jericho announced that he's got his cruise, and a bunch of bands are performing. Jim Brewer is going to do comedy. We've got some radio hosts that are going to be on there. It is the what is it called? Something about the rock and roll on sea. Yeah, tell me about. I know you bought your tickets already, right?
Yeah. See, what happened was, no, I did not buy my tickets. I will not be going. This looks like, it's gonna be a happening place to be. You've got, as you mentioned, there's a bunch of that's gonna be there. You've got Fozzy, of course. It's Chris Jericho. You have a bunch of other people that I've never heard of, but maybe some of the listeners have heard of them. Maybe Demetrius has heard of them, because Stokes was sure to call me out on the fact that I did not know some old white guy who's a crooner when he did a Facebook post the other day. Something McDonald, Michael McDonald or somebody like that. There's Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons, the Lies. You mentioned Jim Brewer, who's the stand-up comedian. Shoot to Thrill, Blizzard of Ozzy, and the Dave Spivak Project. Those guys are going to be there. It's a 5-day cruise from Miami to the Bahamas. Doesn't really take 5 days for you to go to the Bahamas on a boat. I would go. I would enjoy a 5-day cruise, but if all we're doing is the Bahamas, it's like, really? We could pay $50 and go on a boat and make it there in 1 day. But well, I guess if you're a big wrestling fan, this is awesome, because you're gonna have DDP there, Mick Foley, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Rey Mysterio. See, I wouldn't go because Rey Mysterio's there. You know what? I would go because I'm a racist. And folks, that's REYCISTS for those new listeners. I would go just to throw Rey Mysterio off the boat, or the ship, as they would like to call it. So you've got a lot of big name wrestlers of yesteryear, and some of them today. And Ring of Honor is even going to have a tournament on this ship. So you're going to go on a cruise and see some wrestling break out. Look at that.
That's
Ring of Honor.
That's awesome.
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask you what your favorite Fozzy song was.
How about hold on, it's on the tip of my tongue. Tongue.
You Googling with that other hand or something?
None of them, because I've never listened to one. All right. Okay. I have a theory, because Chris Jericho is a WWE personality, but he's doing this cruise with Ring of Honor people wrestling. There's going to be 12 Ring of Honor competitors having a tournament on the ship. Right. I think that Chris Jericho's there scouting. I think he's scouting because the WWE is just taking these Ring of Honor talents. We got
right.
Baby and all that. I think he's scouting them. Like, these 12 guys are going to go on this 5-day cruise, but they'll never make it back to Ring of Honor.
Much to their happiness, I would imagine. Actually, I had the inside scoop on this, Shane. It would not necessarily be scouting. This is a new network show for the WWE Network. They have recently sent out a press release asking fans what type of content they want, and indie shows one of them, and I'm pretty sure this is a new show that's going to be on the WWE Network. So get ready. Get ready for ROH and Fozzy and the boat full of a bunch of weird wrestling fans coming to a WWE Network device near you.
All right. Yeah.
You know that?
That's not the show that I was gonna buy the network for $9.99 to see.
Okay. And well, with that, they did actually send out a press release, and they did say, "Do you want to see?" Now, I proposed this like 2 years ago. It seems like showing ROH and other Shimmer and all those on the network, and it looks like they're getting closer. This was just to gauge the interest. But they also had trying to remember, but they have all kinds of weird suggestions, and I want to know. I'm going to try and dig it up. Have you seen this press release?
I don't look at any WWE press release. They go to my email, and I never open one of them.
Okay. I don't know how I got this one, but so one of them is a Game of Thrones like show starring WWE people. Would you watch a Game of Thrones?
I don't even watch Game of Thrones now. I'm not gonna watch a Game of Thrones WWE version.
Hater. I'll put that on there. We'll just categorize you as a hater on that one. And move on.
Is there an Orange is the New Black WWE version option as well? Because I never watched that either.
Okay. Yep. Still a hater. So wow, you just want to keep naming popular shows that you're too good to watch. Is that what we're doing now?
Okay. Are we going to have Dolph Ziggler in a WWE version of Breaking Bad? Because I never watched that either.
You never saw Breaking Bad, really?
All I know is that the young guy liked to say bitch a lot.
Okay, yes, there's more to that. You being a teacher, I thought would be able to relate. Doing
Because I'm a science teacher, I should be interested in the TV show about a guy making drugs.
Yes, I thought you could be the Miami version. I don't know, something over on that west side of the country. You could be the East Coast version.
No.
Okay.
You know, there was a joke the other day that came across my ear. Since we're talking about people making drugs, you know, Caucasian people get joked about a lot because of the fact that they don't put seasoning on their food and anything. And there was a joke that says, you know, what's the one thing that white people cook better than black people? Meth. There you go.
Oh Lord, I'm not laughing at that one.
I feel like Jinder Mahal right now because I said that joke. Let's move on to the No Mercy, the main matches that we're going to talk about with No Mercy.
Oh Lord, let me ask you this real quick before we do. But would you be interested in? They're talking about reviving a new version of an ECW or another edgy TV 14 style program. I know we've had this conversation where they should be using the network where they don't have to worry about sponsors. We've said this. They are obviously watching this show. And now they're talking about bringing an edgy type show to the WWE Network. Good idea, bad idea?
Yeah, I can do with that. Yeah, sure. Go for it.
All right. So I'm looking at this list, and there's a lot of ideas on there that like stuff about a reality series about WWE stars training and workouts, I can care less about. Same thing with Legends House too, but they're gonna have, you know, they're talking about series of life on the road that would be interesting. You know, basically the Cribs version would be interesting. Popular one before we move on, the last one, since this is right in your neighborhood, a WWE version of The Office. You're on it? Yay or nay? Come on.
Never watched The Office.
Oh, there he goes again. All right. Wow. Let's just quickly get on out of here before you continue to bury every great show in the history of
That could be an episode of HTR right there, where I just knock down all the shows I've never cared to watch. But that's for another.
Okay. Do you only watch reality-based TV?
Do I only? No. I watch.
Let me get. Your favorite is Real Housewives of Insert City.
I only watch The Housewives of Atlanta because of the missus, and yeah, that's the only housewife I watch. And I might watch Love and Hip Hop with her, but that's because she sits through so much with me, and she allows me to sit down and watch, you know, like football Sunday throughout the day. So I have to at least give her something.
All right, I'm not buying any of your excuses. We're gonna move on to the No Mercy. All right, you want to talk about the main matches and of No Mercy? I'm assuming that means Neville versus Enzo. Is that where you want to begin?
Never watched it.
Okay, all right. Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Nia Jax, Emma.
Sure.
Really, Emma? Okay. Miz versus Jason Jordan for the Intercontinental Championship.
Not interested. Even though I love the fact that it's the Miz, but Jason Jordan, nope, not interested.
Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt.
Nope. I
was
tired of that before it even started.
Oh Lord. Ambrose, Rollins versus Cesaro and Sheamus. Something about a bar. Something. Bar. No. Wow. Okay, we've only got 2 left. You must like something on this card. John Cena, not Brock Lesnar, but John Cena versus Roman Reigns.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the reason. These last 2 matches are the only true reasons to tune into the show, and then the third reason, I guess, could be the women's match, which I feel they just put far too many women in there. 5, I think, was unnecessary. But those 2 matches that are at the end are the only 2 matches to really care about. Sorry.
Okay. So, are you still intrigued with the type of promos that they're cutting? They are following they're just replaying Cena versus The Rock, just switching the roles. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, because Cena and Rock's promos did pique my interest. They had me entertained while they were in the ring. So I'm for it. I'm looking, you know, Cena and Reigns are good big men, you know, in the ring. They're good brawlers. You know, you're not going to see the technical wrestling that you would if it was a Dean Malenko and Perry Saturn match or something like that. But it's going to be a good physical contest, and the same thing could be said about the Universal Championship match. It's going to be a physical contest that should thrill the audience. And yeah, I'm loving the promos, you know, because there is truth in what both men are saying. It is truth, so it just makes everything that much better.
Yeah. It is interesting that the way they've spun it and kind of pin it back on Cena and allow his own words to kick him in the butt. To some degree. But as we see it, it's just more evident that what The Rock did was okay, and it's okay to leave. And plus, The Rock was leaving for better movies. Cena is about to be in some kid's movie. It does not.
Hey, The Rock has his tooth fairy, so let Cena have his.
But the Cena doesn't have his Fast and the Furious or his even Be Cool. He was just in the Wall movie. Did you see that the Wall movie that came out this spring? That he's guarding a wall or something.
I came across it, but I haven't watched it yet. But look how long it took for The Rock, who started in Hollywood, before he got like the Fast and the Furious franchise. Or
that's because he didn't embrace his action hero. He tried to be cute and try and avoid being the next Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right.
Don't do that.
And Cena's not really going that route either. You know, Cena's been, the movies that Cena's been in, he's not been like, you know, I'm John Cena with these huge muscles and all of this. Let me beat people up and be this action star.
Right. Which, you know, well, time will tell to see if it's a mistake or not. But outside of his role with Tina Fey, like right there, I thought from there he was going to take off and doing all these awesome movies. Because his little piece in the Sisters or something like that with Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, that was an excellent spot. And then also with Trainwreck with
Amy Schumer,
whatever that girl was. Yeah, Spook. That was also next. So he was doing well for a while, and then he made the Wall movie, which didn't get much attention. I don't know if it got critical acclaim or not. Or respect from any critics, and then this animated movie that's not by DreamWorks or any of the top dogs, I don't believe. We're getting off subject here, but the point being is he's doing his time away, but to me, it's not a great line of work yet. So he's coming back, and he's got to defend himself and defend his spot. Makes it a little bit harder for him to do, in my opinion, since he's not making these great movies. But you said he's going to bring it, and I agree. I think this match will be better than the main event. I think this match should be the main event because I think they've been doing a lot of funky stuff with Brock Lesnar, trying to keep us on our toes with weird endings with Brock. I'm already mentally prepared for a disappointment in that main event. Although, do you think it's time for Brock to lose the title to Braun Strowman?
There's always like these stories that come out before a Brock Lesnar match, and I remember seeing something where there's the rumor that he's going to be taking time off. So now that's making us believe that Lesnar's going to lose. But then before his last match, there was the whole he's going back to UFC. So Lesnar's going to lose then, but he didn't. So, you know, I don't know what to think when it comes to Lesnar because these rumors always come out, and then you want to be part of you is going to be like, well, you know, one of these rumors are going to be true. So this is going to be the moment when he does lose. But then another part of you is like, well, you know what? I'm not going to be gullible. So no, I'm not believing it. This is another rumor that's not going to come through. And he's going to win. And we're going to have Lesnar hold the strap for another month or two, you know, maybe until the big show. Not the wrestler, but a big show like Survivor Series. So I don't know who's going to win. I don't know if you're saying that you believe that the Cena Roman Reigns match might be the better match, But what we've seen with Strowman involved is that even though he's a big guy, he's shown that he's very agile and he's quick and he can actually go in the ring. You know, we saw many good matches between Strowman and the Big Show, and Big Show doesn't have these great matches with people who are half Strowman size. So for Strowman to be in there with Brock Lesnar, we know it's going to be physical. We know, you know, we're going to see bodies flying through the air and all of this, and there might be blood and all of it. You know, I don't know if from the visual standpoint, if it's going to be worse than Roman Reigns and John Cena. I feel from the visual standpoint, it will be better. Now, from a technical standpoint, you're probably going to give the edge to Roman Reigns and John Cena. But I just think, you know, you're just going to have a rabid fan base who just wants to see carnage, and that's what that match is going to give.
Okay, I think that's fair. I don't know. I really think that it's time to. It's been a long time. I know we've had Brock Lesnar as a champion, and he's kind of supposed to fill this void or fill this role rather, but a just completely dominant champion. I'm talking about back in the Bruno Sammartino days. I'm talking like some guy that can just carry your entire company for a long time. And although he's still green, Strowman's a guy that you can say that no one can beat him. He's just that tough. If he can go out and beat Brock Lesnar, they could place a stamp on him that they haven't had since Andre the Giant. He's that big. He's that strong. He's that mean. I would do it. I would put the belt on him and just push him to the moon. People, and just have no one beat him for a very, very long time. And maybe we talked about getting a manager. Maybe he gets a manager or a handler, but that'd be kind of hard to do since he's already champion. But I think he wins, and I think he goes over from here on out, and we see something historic.
I'm all for that. I'm all for that. I'm holding up this. I have this little sheep here, and I just remember Strowman, who I could not stand when he was with Bray Wyatt.
I was telling you about him.
I couldn't stand him because I'm like, look at this green bastard. You know, he's horrible. He's freaking horrible. I'm just so amazed, and I think that's part of the reason why I like him so much, because of what I saw him as and how quickly he was able to turn that all around. You know, I'm all for if he gets the strap, I'm not gonna be mad. I will not be mad because I've been a big Braun Strowman cheerleader.
Hey, I think they could do monster things like look at Jinder Mahal on SmackDown, right? The reason was they wanted to get into India. That's the business reason everybody was pointing to. Have they gotten to India? I don't know. I haven't seen the numbers. I don't know. I know they just started. They opened up a WWE shop there for the first time. They finally got it. That they're on WWE. They have different. What's the word? They have their own unique programming there as well. So I don't know how well that's going, but all that to say, he's outlasted a lot of. He's topped a lot of reigns in the championship history already. And if they can do that with Jinder Mahal, who people probably to this day still don't agree with him as champion, I think they could do big things with Braun Strowman on the Raw brand. So we will see. I just got a offer because I had canceled my my WWE network to watch for 3 months for free. 3 months for free. So for those who are looking to, I'm trying to remember how long I canceled it. I might have canceled it for 3 months. This might be the third month that I've canceled. It's like second or third. So I got to go ahead and check that out so I can go ahead and see Sunday and take advantage of my 3 months of WWE Network. Maybe I'll get some of those shows there that I have been suggesting for years, and that may allow me to keep the network this time. But we'll see. We shall see. This is the first stream on Facebook, Shane. We made it all the way through. We got a lot of comments on there. Some of the guys faded away. I don't know what happened, but we were going strong on Facebook. So I'm happy to say I got to check the audio, see if it was an audio success as well. But we're doing big things here. We're doing big things. Is what I'm trying to say, Shane.
I feel like we're Mike and Mike with the simulcasting now, sir.
That's right. That's how we do on all networks. We got to get that Twitter agreement. I think you have to have a special agreement to get the Twitter simulcast. So we got to get our numbers up, people. So make sure you share this post, this podcast on Facebook and on YouTube, as well as iTunes. Even if you listen to it live, just share the thing. Show us some love. And why are you showing us some love? Shane, you know they got to go to the VC.com. We're getting that back up and running. We got some things in the works for that as well. So make sure you tune into the VC.com, Shane.
Most definitely. Check out the VC. Yeah, check out the VC and follow the VC on Twitter as well.
Yes, got a lot of Cheryl Underwood follows us. I don't know what that means, but it's something. So check us out on Twitter. And it is definitely time to tell you guys good night. We will see you next week, Wednesday, hopefully 9 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. We will see you then. Peace.